company we're working with is called Primatemp, and their product is called Priya. It's a fertility sensor, so a sensor device that's communicating with mobile apps and wearable apps. It's part of what we're calling the quantified self movement. It's a movement where wearable technology is actually sending us and obtaining quantitative data about ourself. Sensors like this actually serve as a role in a psychobiological stress mediator. So psychobiology, what is that? Psychobiology is actually a theory where us as a human being is viewed as an integrated unit. So we take our psychological, our social, our biological functions, and we think of them as a whole. So many of us are comfortable with the idea that our mental and our physical health are connected. And that's the idea behind psychobiological stress mediation. And Priya is becoming one of those mediating factors that allows a cognizant appraisal. It's how we think about processing something. It's how we think about achieving a goal. So regardless of whether it was fertility or you were trying to achieve something else, there's actually two primary things that can allow us to have a stress mediator. The first is predictability. You see, by knowing when you expect to do something, when you expect something to happen, actually decreases the stress's impact. So in fertility, knowing when you're going to ovulate, which is the stressor, actually by providing data that's analyzed and giving it back to the person, it actually can reduce stress. So predictability is the first. The second is control. And the interesting thing about control is by perceiving one has control, whether you actually do or not, can actually reduce your stress. So predictability and control. So you can imagine lots of different wearables and sensory devices that can provide us predictability by taking that data, and of course it's not data in itself, right? It's data that's been analyzed and sharing that data back with us. And by giving us a perception of control, can change our emotional state significantly. It actually alters your perception of the entire stressor. So there's two other pieces that are really key in these devices and sensors. And one is changing our perception of our ability to actually see something as a threat and changing it to be a challenge. So if we can change something to be a challenge instead of a threat, it has a big impact. Let me give you an example. So in a threat, we view the journey of trying to achieve our goal, in this case becoming pregnant, we view it as a risk of failure. So a risk of failure gives us an anticipation of an emotional loss, harm, damage that can come from it. The focus is on the negativity, and it creates negative emotions. If we can use apps and devices to change that to become a challenge, not unlike in the gaming world, then we perceive the stressor to conceive, or as our goal, as an opportunity. And when we view it as an opportunity, it becomes a situation that's exciting, that's pleasant, that's interesting. In fact, our feelings change from negative emotions to ones of hopeful, eager, and confident to meet the demands of the situation. So think about all of the different type of devices that are all part of this new 2.0 that are actually providing us an opportunity to both reduce the concepts that are stressing us and create a challenge out of it, which changes our perception of it, drastically reducing stress. Of course, achieving the goal only emphasizes that and re-emphasizes that. And we're doing that multiple times a day. Of course, not in the concept of getting pregnant. So effective computing is what this theory and this new research is called. And it's really tech being used to determine emotional state. And it's a very growing area. And Priya is not the only wearable effective technology being used to gather information. In fact, there's other products already out on the market. There's one called the Think module. It works by signaling nerves in your neck and on your head, and it actually impacts the brain's adrenal system. And through that, it activates your own natural state of energy and calm. And remember, I talked about before, it's really about a perception. So regardless of the biology, the product can actually have a positive impact. There's another product called Spire, and its goal is for mindful measurements. So throughout your day, it's taking lots of different sensory measurements, converting that data back into something that you feel like is predictable and that you have control over. And it helps you find different things throughout your day that are allowing you to have either calm or more energy and creating what they're saying is a mindful movement. So current emotion detection techniques are absolutely improving, and measuring emotion is becoming cheaper and more reliable as we use different sensors that give us more than just heart rate. It gives us perspiration and a lot of other signals that are going on in our body, especially with devices that can be used inside of our body and not just on the outside. So I am just as excited as can be around the potential for 2.0. And I hope that you've gotten engaged and excited as well. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference.
Lisa, I have a question.
Sure.
I'm still forming it, so you'll have to bear with me. I do a lot of work in the smart textiles and fashion space, and I'm noticing that there's this shift from the quantified self that just gives you this data that you don't know what to do with it towards these emotional wearables. And we're also seeing this shift in robotics as well. And I've been thinking about it sort of in comparison to the evolution in the internet, where we went from the information internet to Web 2.0, which is a lot more connected and social as well. And I'm wondering if any of your work is, I guess not only showing the benefits of it, but showing to what end, where is that headed?
I think it's too early to show the benefits of it, at least from the research that I've read. But I absolutely agree with you. The idea that wearables are no longer just a watch, which is how we thought about it in 1.0, or a Fitbit or something that you were wearing, to absolutely integrated data that's giving us information, not only in our clothes. You might have even seen the component that sticks onto your skin. Exactly, and a variety of things like that. This device is actually inserted inside of your body and has gone through clinical trials and is safe. It's used for one particular purpose, but the small robotics, the micro robotics, are going to provide us that. Unfortunately, to date, I think it's still so new that there hasn't been a lot of confirming proof that this has happened. There's plenty of allegations of proof that I've seen and that the products are talking about. But as far as real solid research, I haven't seen that on 2.0. But I'm just as excited as you are around what's going to happen in the fashion industry and what we're going to be able to do with clothing and how that's going to impact things. So.
Yeah, and I think the real time would be an interesting aspect of it. So when you don't have to look at the phone to get the data, but when you can actually see that data worn on the body, that'll be really exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, regardless of whether there's a lot of research done, there has been research to show that if you feel like you have predictability and control, it changes it for you. And that's actually proven. So how this technology will add to that is what there isn't a lot of research around. But we know that predictability and control in those aspects are, and I believe that this technology will lead us to that. So,
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.